Today I'm going to clean out our pond from all the hydrilla that got put in there by a bird a long time ago and just never went away. And hydrilla is bad when it's in the lakes, everybody knows that. However, the hydrilla that's in our pond is actually kind of healthy for it so long as you eliminate it on a regular basis. And I just put it in our compost pile full of nutrients that then get taken up by the plants that I put the compost on. Right now, though, it's overgrown, and even in its overgrown state, it provides shelter for the minnows and the gambusia, the mosquito-catching fish that are native fish, and the snails, the apple snails that are in this little pond. Those are actually edible if you cook them really well. They carry parasites sometimes, so raw isn't good. But in a pinch, it's an emergency food supply that there's so many of them in here. You can probably see the shells are everywhere. The raccoons already eat them and leave their little shells. But there's thousands, literally thousands of them. So today we're going to take our implements of disaster and destruction and take out all this hydrilla. But in this kind of weather, it'll be back in about 3 weeks or so, and I'll do it again. Provides a lot of shade also, so that your water doesn't get algae in it. No treatment necessary. The fountain provides oxygen, and it's a completely self-contained little ecosystem full of water lilies and viable food source. And here the water is cleared after I've taken out the hydrilla. And you can see the little fish swimming around. It drains through the grid on my cart, so it makes it much lighter when I put it in the compost pile. Water lilies can breathe happily now. And I'll get about 5 or 6 carts like that for the compost pile out of this little pond every 3 or 4 weeks during the hot season. Haven't done this part yet. I'll do that next.
And here we see the final result, all cleaned up and ready to go. And from this vantage point, you can also see the relationship of the size of the circles in the pond. This is in a Fibonacci sequence, a sequence in mathematical progression where the first and second circle diameters add up to the third, then the second and third add up to the fourth, and so on. Also, the straight portions are a Fibonacci sequence in that they follow the same mathematical equation. This is the most beautiful geometrical arrangement according to the ancients and moderns, and is repeated in geometrical shapes as diverse as the spiral structure of the Milky Way galaxy to the inner workings of the nautilus and other spiral shells, and even in the arrangement of leaves on a stem. This 1.67 ratio, and the number goes on infinitely like pi, is determined to be somewhere in the back of our mind the most beautiful proportion in nature.